Hi, welcome back to part 2 of the Trials of the 9 coverage. I'm Maybe, and today we're going to go through what happened when we played Trials last night. So the first thing you notice is you have a milestone to pick up a win, and that grants you access to the third spire. So we got our win, went to the third spire, and saw this emissary here, traded in some tokens, and had a quick look at the gear that was on offer. I don't know if you remember, but in my first video, I said about the teaser trailer showing what looked to be a woman in a cloak, and it turns out, I think I was partially right. This looks like a woman of some sorts. I don't know what race she is, possibly awoken. After discovering that we couldn't go any further in this place, we proceeded to go back out into orbit, and Trials actually takes place on a new map called Eternity. And as you can see when we load in a second, you get this kind of weird introduction where it shows your team and then their team. I think this is quite a nice idea. You see the loadouts that everyone's selected, and they are locked loadouts, and normally light level advantages are enabled. But for this week, they are disabled, which gives everyone a level playing field. What you're going to see, I think, this weekend is a lot of meter multi-tools. The map does have a lot of long lines of sights and only a couple of close quarters corridors to use sort of some of the more short-range weapons on. Came across quite a few Titans and Warlocks as opposed to Hunters. I think that's because you don't actually get your super that often in a game. I don't know if that's just because the length of our games only went 8 rounds or 7 rounds or 6 rounds in total. After a couple of rounds of discovering that it wasn't likely to get our super in the game, I switched to Night Stalker and used the invisibility tree to sort of make some good flanks and pushes from that side. We would often split into 2 groups of 2, see which way they were pushing and then collapse on them, or if they were collapsing on us, get a rotation in behind and try and pin them in. I've only put a little bit of the gameplay in because I appreciate the length of the video is quite long. So what I've tried to do is show you the scoreboards at the end of each game, and then sort of when we're going to the third spire, I'll show you those bits as well so you can see around, because I know not everyone will get the opportunity to go to all bits of that third spire unless they get a bit lucky. So what I've also done at the end of the video, I've sort of shown a selection of gear that I got. I know you can preview the gear from the emissary by pressing Y when you visit her, but I'm going to show you some of the gear that I got as well. Also guys, if you actually need some help in the trials, if you leave me your gamer tag, I will try and get back to you. I will add you on Xbox, and we can go through some trials together. At this point we picked up our 3rd win, and that completed another milestone, got a bunch of reputation and tokens, and went back to the 3rd spire. And it was at this point you could actually access the next step up, so we went on the platform, it boosted us up to the next level where we received another powerful engram, a load more gear, traded in some reputation tokens, and then tried to have a look around. I think the next platform boosted you off into the middle unless you had the next appropriate amount of wins. So our milestone updated again, and we had to go back into the Crucible to try and pick up 5 wins. At this point we were flying through, it wasn't really taking us long, and that seems to actually be an issue. I don't think the skill-based matchmaking is in effect for this weekend, because there's no way that those games are reflective of a competitive level. Now the amount of tokens you earn as you're running through the trials, it looks to be about, if you went flawless, you could basically level up your rep about 2.5 times, so you get 2 more engram rewards, and obviously that's about 4 more bits of gear. As you can see, my loadout actually changed quite a few times. I thought the Fighting Lion would be a good option for one game. It didn't go too well. It was okay, it wasn't as good as I thought it would be, so quickly scrapped that idea for the next game. That win took us to 5 wins, so we went back to the 3rd spire to try and pick up some more rewards and hopefully update a milestone. The world where the 3rd spire is, in the unknown space, is unlike anything else in Destiny. Bungie like to make use of real life locations, obviously aided by the magic of the Traveller. Aside from the reef, that's completely obviously made up, but this is sort of going outside of that. It looks to finally be bringing 9 into some tangible form where we interact with them closer, and a little later you'll see just how close we get to them. That hand cannon that I picked up from her just then is actually phenomenal. It's so good. If you can run an energy weapon as your primary and the hand cannon in your actual primary, it absolutely does bit. Now it was time to go back into the Crucible. We were trying to go for our 6th and 7th wins, and that would mean we go flawless. In these coming clips you'll see me make use of the invisibility and my favourite shotgun, Hawthorne's Field Forged shotgun. You can literally pop around corners, fire it full auto. It's kind of like Found Verdict from Destiny 1, which is always a nice shotgun to use. Also, if you happen to be doing a raid, that shotgun is really good for the Pleasure Gardens. I won't spoil anything after that, but I'm just saying, Hawthorne's Field Forged shotgun, Pleasure Gardens, check it out. I think for me, the interesting thing looking back at my play was the amount of times I was trying to get the flank or the side shot and got caught out and died. and left my revive in a really awkward place for my teammates. That's probably something I'm going to change going forward into the harder games. But I'm still a big believer that if you can hold out 3v4 and get a flank, you're always going to win. And I think with that game, that wrapped up our 7th win on the bounce. That was a flawless ticket. It was time to go back to the 3rd Spire. And to be honest, at this point, we were super excited to see what we were going to get. We knew we had at least one more platform to go to. After that, no idea. You'll see a little later what happens with that. But Bungie have done an incredible job in supplying us new areas, new maps. We had the new map from the raid yesterday, new map for Trials today. The raid is absolutely massive, along with all that underbelly area. I don't want to spoil too much, but the amount of space in this game and the amount of areas to explore and secrets to find, it's honestly incredible. It really sets Destiny 2 on a solid production path for the DLCs. Who knows what we're even going to get in Iron Banner. Perhaps we'll get a new map and new space there as well. At this part, the Emissary offers you a choice of weapons. You only get to pick one. I really wanted to try that sniper, even though snipers seem to be awful in Destiny 2. They seem almost unusable. I really like the look of it though, so I deleted one of my hand cannons and picked it up regardless. I realised I just said hand cannon, I meant grenade launcher. And here we go. We thought you might have to get another couple of wins to get up onto here. Turns out you can just jump up and you've got this purple splodge. You fall through it into this incredible new area. This is what I was saying when I was thinking how close we're going to get to them. The Emissary here, it must be a projection. She can't actually be that big. Whatever realm this is, you've got this horse walking around. There's lots of dust and stars and lights. It's very mysterious. I don't know what it is, if it's actually still on the planet or if this is the true realm of the emissaries of the 9 and they take you in. Regardless though, she offers you another reward to pick from. So after all of that, 7 wins, flawless ticket, all that gear, it's time to check it out. First up, we've got the Judgment Hand Cannon. This thing is honestly a beast. It's got huge impact, big range, stability, handling, all of that. And the perk is the same as all the other Trials of the 9 weapons. It's if you slide, you recover ammo and gain a slight boost to handling for about 1 second after sliding. And after that, we've got the Prosecutor Auto Rifle. So this is an energy weapon. I've tried to show the lore of each one of these, so if you want to pause the video and have a quick read, you can, not an issue. This auto rifle falls under the heavier impact archetype of auto rifle. I actually think it'll get quite a lot of use in PvP. After that, we've got the Long Walk Sniper Rifle. So this is what I deleted the grenade launcher for. Is it worth it? God knows. But it has got huge impact. I'm almost sure when the light advantages are enabled, you're going to actually body shot some people with this. It's really similar to the final round kind of aspect of the Iron Banner Sniper back in Destiny 1 Year 1. All of these weapons have really quick target acquisition and aiming. You can literally snap down the sight so quickly. It's really, really good for PvP. Also, just a quick note, look at the symbols on each of these weapons. They're kind of rotated at different orientations to each other. Don't know if that means anything. This next sidearm, I think I got from the engram from the clan rewards. It came at light level 10. So I guess I'm going to have to infuse it if I want to make use of it. Finally, we have the Duo Relentless. That is the Cloak Relentless and the Pulse Rifle Relentless. I don't know why they're named the same or if they belong to the same lore backstory perhaps. Either way, I did get to use that Pulse Rifle. It does hit like a truck. I think in one of the clips I'm shown using it is really good. I actually quite like it over the Mida multi-tool. On some of the smaller maps especially, it's definitely going to get more use. Overall, I'm really surprised of how much gear I got from just one Trials run. If I had other characters, I would most definitely run it. At the moment, I've got another Hunter, but I don't really feel like playing 2 Hunters. So I'm going to make a Warlock, make a Titan, and go through Trials again. Maybe it'll be a little bit different playing on different classes. If you haven't already done the Trials, hopefully this video has given you some insight into what to expect and some of the rewards you can get and kind of gear and reputation reward. Just remember, light level advantages aren't enabled this week, so you can pretty much pick whatever weapon and loadout you want. And just a quick note to end, I have had some audio issues recently. I'm working to change that. Hopefully by next week it'll be all sorted. Until then, I'll see you next time.